Hello, I hope everything is working. It's my first streaming with the new setup, and yeah, it's a test. Please, if something is weird, write in the chat. Let's see if everything works in the chat too. Ciao. And yeah, I'm learning. Okay, so welcome, and we will go today through this machine, which I just got yesterday, and I am already in love with it. It's basically the analog for it's a 4-track synthesizer with 4 voices. Each voice has a 2 oscillator plus noise plus many other things. It also has some cool feature, CV out, CV in, and I had it for a few days on loan years ago, and honestly I didn't get completely the machine. At that moment I just started doing music. Let's put actually though something going on. And I didn't really know what to do with that. And then the performer come in, and I start working with the idea of 4-track, 4 voices, and with the Octatrack. And yeah, that become my signature thing. And so these things now, with 4 voices, with the Elektron sequencer, with the effects, with the fact that I can sequence CV, probably could become my main weapon. So this video, and I'm keep checking that everything is good. Yeah, this video want to be me learning with you guys. I will try to see on the chat if you have question. There's some lag, so I'll see how it works. I'm excited and like, and yeah, let's just go straight into it. So I would say, first of all, we do a new project. So I save and we go, let me save this one. Yes, if you know Elektron stuff, basically is like going home. Like it's super simple. And I want to learn, save project, how you do? Project, load the project, create new. Okay, whenever you load a project, you have this sound. I usually start from scratch. I went through the pattern, the preset, pretty cool. And actually, let me do this. Let me now do, boom, this stuff. So here it is. So we see the machine and not my beautiful face. And all right. And again, you have 4 tracks here, plus an effects track and a CV track. We will go through that later. I barely open the manual, so again, there might be a lot of stuff that I don't know, but the great thing is like everything makes sense. So I could write some patches and some sound right away, which is great. So is structure very similar to all other Elektron boxes. You have here all the pages that relates to the track you are into. So for this 4-track, all these pages will be the same, and then you have an effects track and a CV track, and that change what this page does. So when you select a track, you start with the Arpeggiator, which is pretty cool. We'll see later on. The note page, where you set the velocity, the length, probability. Also, you have probability per track, which is great, which is something that I would love to have on the Octatrack, but sadly we don't. Then you have the oscillator page 1, which select all of your thing, all of your setting. If you press again, you go in the other page, Oscillator 2, and you press again, you have the another page where you can add some other, how the two oscillators interact. This is more advanced things that we will see. Filter, it's cool. The filter has two filter. I didn't know that. So you have a first 4-pole filter with overdrive. Track, it's the tracking, then depth that is related to the envelope, and then you have another filter that happen after this first filter, and it can be, this could be, I think it's triple, I don't know, but it can be many things. Could be used also for EQ. It could be a band pass. So these two filters can work together. But for now, let's keep it open. Then you have your amp page where you have your envelope with different shape of envelope. And then here you can add your chorus, delay, and reverb. Dubby chords coming. Of course, that was something I wanted to do. Then pan volume, then you have two envelopes, and the envelopes are hardwired to the filter, but you can also set two destinations per envelope, which is cool. And then LFO, and LFO, you have two LFO, and each LFO has two destinations, so this makes it super powerful. I thought it was similar to the rhythm, where it only have one LFO, which is probably something that I miss to have on the on that machine, but you know, we cannot have everything, and I can't wait to start playing with both of them together because I feel it's gonna be intense. So this is what we have. On the oscillator page, you have different waveform. So from square, pulse wave, triangle, and then you can also process the input in left, right, and also create feedback. You have pulse width modulation with all the different waveform. Which is pretty cool. You have a tune, fine tune, and detuning. The tuning is like allowed to get you that kind of drift. In the option, actually, voice option, you can have this drift function that make it a little more warm and analog, as they say. Oscillator 2 actually add another voice. And you have for both voice a sub. So it can go. I see that my bitrate is a little bad. Please let me know if everything is fine. Again, that's what YouTube says. Let's hope it's not a problem. That said, the sound design is pretty straightforward, pretty easy. But the real question is, how is the performance part of it? Like how easy it is to set up a pattern and go for it and improvise with it, which is what I care about. I know I can do it with the Octatrack and the Vermona, and I know that sooner or later I will have to do a comparison between these and the Vermona, but how can I play with this live? So I really was hoping that there was the same feature that the Octatrack has, that is setting up a scale and then placing down trigs and rotate the knob and be quantized on scale. And thank God this machine has it. The Syntact doesn't. So I was a little afraid about that. Like, let's hope things will be fine. But yeah, actually it's fine. It has it. So just to show you, we can play something. So let's create just a quick sound. So let's reload the kit. Let's start with something simple. Let's start something that could be my Vermona sound. Yeah. All right. Push up. So what I usually do when I improvise, I just set tricks down, no? Something like that. Let's go. So one thing is like the note that is input here is the one that you play last on the keyboard here, which is great to have. Say you play a F and then you put down tricks, now you have F. So something to keep in mind. Since I always play in C, let's start with C. So we put down something. You might know I like to dialogue with the machine, so I just put down thing and then I start hearing and change the pattern basing on what I'm hearing. So what you do, you go in the note page, and first actually we need to set up that. So you just press function and note. Here you can put quantization for recording, but also here there's a K scale. So you put major or minor, that's it. You don't have any other fancy thing, but that's what we need. And I keep it on C. So you would have to do that with each track. So let's do it. So by now, if I change the note with the knob A, whatever I do is gonna be quantized. And this is great because this is how I like to do. Also, you can simply press one button and choose the note. So here already something that works for me, and now I usually do that, and then I can start play with the effects and stuff. So let's actually go in the effects page and let's make something juicy. So let's go in the delay, let's make it ping pong, very wide. Let's add some reverb and some overdrive. All right. Lovely. So we are already onto something. Few things that I learned that I love. Beautiful, no? So first thing first, one thing that I loved of the Vermona, of course, it's having all the control always in front of me. But what are the controls that I keep using? Because in the end, there are few of them. And mostly are filter. The resonance, I usually never touch it. And then I like to play with the amp to create different envelopes. So what I did, I mapped everything to a controller. Let me take it. The chic. an USB cable. So the Chic N32 is my favorite portable small controller. And I'll show you why. With a web browser, no, that's not to make a problem. With all of this cable, you have a web browser editor, and it's super easy to program. So right now what I did, I mapped the things that I usually use with my Vermona with this. So I don't know if it's all in the frame. Let's go like this. So what I did is like I put the volume here. Then I had filter, second filter, attack, release. No, actually, sorry. This is the envelope of the filter. Attack, release, delay send, and reverb. So now the fun part is like I didn't do it because I was lazy, but I can do the same with all the other 4 rows, and basically I have a performance machine. Now, do you need to do that? Not really, because the cool things that the Analog for us is the performance page, which means you can map these knobs to any parameter here. I did that, but I want to use this as macro because I think it's more fun and use one controller for the basic thing. So right now this is really similar to my setup Octatrack plus a performer. Something. Hey Sean, yes, as mentioned, yeah, I tried. Yeah, sorry, there's the lag, but yeah, I did, and we might go into that because it's an amazing feature, of course. So if you want to go around with just this machine, you don't really need an external controller. What I like of external controller like the Chic is just like it's slick, small, and to play music, especially if you play live and if you play improvisation wise, you need to have some muscle memory. So I love to have some tool like this that I know I mapped in a certain way, and I'm, safe when I use it. So right now I have already a lot of way to shape the sound super easily, and I'm just using one oscillator with a what is that? So I can add another oscillator. And I'm really loving what I'm hearing right now. Let's work on the reverb a bit. Okay, now let's see another few features that are brilliant and super easy. The controller is the Chic N32B. Actually, the guy that is doing it is doing a new version that is completely metal, and it's gonna receive it soon, and it's gonna be very cool with this guy. It's the smallest and most portable controller that I found, which is great, and that it works of course as USB, but also has a MIDI in and out, like proper MIDI in and out. The other one that I had is the PC12, which is too big. Great, but yeah, too much. All right, once you do your sequence, you have a lot of parameter here that it's super convenient to use and super easy to use. Let's start with the accent. Accent, you can function an accent, and then you can decide how much the accent, and then you just place the trig. So simple like that. Now we have accent going on, which something that I would love that I am now used to is the fact that to decouple these tracks from the pattern, which I can do with the Oxy, which of course is a more complex and more deep sequencer. I don't think you can do it here, which would be amazing if I can have like the accent track lasting 15 steps instead of 16. I don't think you can do that. So we put the accent. Now let's put this note slide, which is something that I like. I love it. So Hey Gunther, I think it's brilliant what right now it's happening. In few seconds there's already a super cool sequence going on, and I'm using just one track. Now, how can we make this more interesting? I usually work with one page, so I like to have all of my steps in front of me. What we can do first, this is a thing that I do all the time when I start a new pattern. I press function, page, and I put advanced mode, always, because I want to have each track at different length. So I do that, and then I go length, I go infinite, so it never reset, and I can do polyrhythm, and then change, I setting on 16. That means if I want to change pattern, after 16 steps, it will change. If you don't do that, it will never change. So this is my go-to situation. Okay. Yes, the function, somebody. Thanks for a reply. There might be people probably that knows better than me. So I did that. Let's go out of it. Now, in the note page, there's few things that I like. First, we can play with the velocity. So this has the global velocity and length, which is something that I can never play with the Vermona, which I'm excited to have. So what you can do here now, we can set velocity per step, like manually. And then we can set probability. Like for example, I would put 80%, 85%. That means that not all the note will be triggered all the time. Maybe not 90. So these change things and create some variation. So, loving what I'm hearing, but let's make it even more spicy. So what we did, we just create a simple track. We added some variation, some parameter locking, but super basic. Now let's go into the LFO page. So, differently than other machine, the LFO of the Analog 4 is really powerful because it has 2 LFO and each LFO has 2 destinations, which makes it really, really interesting. So usually when I use the LFO, there's different way in the Elektron you can use. So there's the free mode, means that the LFOs keep going, but let's do something here with a random thing. So I will do that in an LFO page 2. So when it's random, I always want to hold the value that the LFO is in per step. So I set here hold. Then I set the wave random. And now I want to actually randomize the pan and the volume as it is already. It's already set for that volume, destination, and pan. So let's hear what happened. So right now we will have some variation in the volume, and now let's do it with the pan. What happened now, we already have, let's turn off the delay. Because the delay is a ping pong, so it's already moving around. But you hear now with the LFO that the sound move in the space. So that make me think maybe if we have the delay, we don't need to do the pan. Let's choose another thing. Oh, the attack actually of the filter is pretty interesting. What I like to do, which is a trick that seems stupid and basic, but I have one of my clients that I do one-on-one with him, and he said it was super mind-blowing how easy it is, but I always set up the depth quite a lot, and then I change the destination, because with the Elektron machine, if you move these and you didn't set up, you might not hear anything, and also you need to remember that to press yes, otherwise the destination stay what it was, which is something that I don't like too much. I would prefer if it change, but whatever. So you have a lot of destination. You can go like in this atonal thing. Sub is kind of interesting. What's sub? Okay, super cool. So we put the sub on 5th because the sub could be different things, and now the LFO will trigger the sub sometime, creating this sort of chords. And let's put the speed of the LFO very little. Interesting, no? We are still working with 1 track only and 2 oscillator. It's brilliant, no? Also, let me see. This is the second day I have this machine, and I'm already getting an interesting thing. Interesting. Let's use the LFO, the other LFO, to modulate the frequency. We use sine wave, very slow. And the other we can modulate. The accent? No. Not sure. Let's modulate the send amp delay reverb send. Okay, now what I like to do is add more notes with 3 conditions. So for example, let's this one happen every 2 rounds. Let's add a low note, and this one happen every 4. Loving it. Okay, let's say now we want to move forward and play with something else. Let's add another track, yeah? So, simply as that. So first, you might want to save your thing. To save projects, you just press function and save. You can save your kit. For example, this sounds is nice. I didn't get to the point to save sound, but probably you just go sound browser, rename track sound, and probably that. But I'll see that later. There's some setting here, like in sound setting, you can put the oscillator drift, the resonance boost, the velocity that can do stuff, portamento. So here is where you have the sound in-depth control. And I want to go there because it's going to be too much. Let's add more notes. Why don't we work for a interesting arpeggio? I want you to notice though, as I mentioned many times, the importance of LFO in electron machine. You can feel how this sound is very organic and there's a lot of stuff happening. And if you start adding effects on top of it, for example, let me see. I'm adding now the space and the CXM back there, just a tiny bit. You can feel it. This is great. But for the sake of this, let's turn that back off. We want to just work with this guy. So let's do an arpeggio. Let's create first a note, a sound, something plucky. Yeah, let's Blanco, good idea. Then we'll do also some effects thing. Arpeggiator works similarly to the Arpeggiator that is in the Octatrack, which I love. So first you turn it on. There's a different modality. Through means like as you put down, that's the order that it will work. Speed, range is the octave, length is the length of the gate. So here how this is less gappy, and like this instead is more gappy. Gappy is the thing. And then the legato. The other cool thing is like, let's set up something first. Let's put a note. Let's put, so the length has to be, the note length has to be enough. So now I turned off the track 1 just to hear better to this one. If it sounds too high, there's always a transpose button and you can transpose it, which is great. Now, let's make some sound design. Nice. And I want to add some panning. It's nice, open a lot the panning with a lot. It created this sort. We can actually modulate these. That would be fun. For example, modulate LFO2. No, you can't. You can modulate LFO2, LFO1. On the ARP page, there's this thing, which is the one that is in the Octatrack, which I love as a performative tool. So you can decide the length of the arpeggio, and then you can deactivate. And then you can grab single notes and transpose it. So that creates interesting stuff. Now we have everything going on together. And I wanted this arpeggio just being there, but not too much. So, for example, now, if I would feed this one to the autobaum, so I have a distortion or filter, this would sound pretty great. I'm sad that I create a project for this and not the other project, because now I want to hold on this sequence. What do we need now? Now we need a bass, right? So let's create a bass to go with this thing. So track 3, and let's start playing with it. So first, that's 2 Oscillator, detuned. Yeah. So we can do something like this, and then start adding some LFO that will animate that. This is too low. Because the transpose it's on. Actually, let's add the LFO with some movement. Something like that. But I want this to come and go, so I go LFO page 2, and I will modulate. Oh no, because I choose the whatever. I'll keep it like that. I like it. So page 2, let me modulate LFO 1. Nice. Let's add some chorus. The transpose out, it's happening to all the track, but you can deactivate that, so that's an error that I did. Adding some reverb from the mix. Now, just to try, I'll add in my bandit up. And this is beautiful right now. 3 tracks. When you use the keyboard, you override the note, and then I can go back to the first one. The controller is the Chic N32B. It's on somewhere on the. I should put actually a link. So this was to cover how easy it is to get something interesting. Now, I was thinking about something, and like a lot of machine or synth, you know, they are synth, they have their waves, and I keep feeling that the real game changer thing is when you use, let's switch here, when you use effects. So I had these things that before I tried some sample-based work machine, and people say, oh, you would sound a little too generic, which is true. It happens sometimes that basically this is your piano, it's your guitar, right? It has a tone which you can heavily modify and get yours. But I think, at least for me, the real game-changing part is when I had effects, which I don't want to do today, but I want to start doing streaming more often, and next streaming maybe we go with the analog rhythm, because I'm sure when I have those two, I'm done forever. And then what you need some sample. Now you can use the analog rhythm because it has a sample, but I think the Octatrack, it's always nice to have on top. So I wonder if those three things together, it's enough. But yeah, I would also like to add some effects, and I'd say the Maris LVX could be a good idea, and then the CXM, I tried with the chorus echo. This one is amazing, and also there's few other cool thing. The fact that it has the out separate, so I can process all the tracks separately and then feed it back with external in, and then use it to perform. So it's pretty brilliant, the possibility that I have now with this machine. Good idea, 10,000 spar. That's actually a very good idea. There's also, let me grab something. Like, you can easily process external stuff in the external in. Show you how. So now I go in the effects page, external in, and now I can feed and I can decide to send to the reverb, to the delay. Nice, no? Amazing. Now, one important thing would be like to have a control all function, and that is where the quick performance things are really useful. I didn't dig into that yet too much, but let's try. So, function setup, function performance, you can set up performance configure. So you press yes, you have different slot that you can save and name, so that's pretty cool. So let's get slot A, and now you have with this, with the use of that knob, because we choose knob A, we can move 5 different parameters. All right, so let's say, I don't know, we want to kill the frequency of everything, we can try. So pressing, it selects the track. So let's do track 1, and let's choose oscillator or filter frequency. Yes. And here track 2, filter frequency 2. Let me find it, filter frequency. This track 3, filter frequency. Yes. And track 4, filter frequency. Yes. Good morning. Oh, Dub Station, how's it going? So then you set up the offset of it, and now like this you open the filter, but you can do the opposite. Or you can actually put bipolar. And I think like that, now you can move it. So now I go out. You can actually we press no, but you can actually rename these and call like filter. And now, when I'm performance mode, as you see, I can kill all the filter. I mean, low pass, high pass, everything. And I didn't do it on the external in, so for example, I can play with something external and then come back. So, as you can imagine, you can create your own scene, and this is very similar to the Octatrack thing. Like, you have scene, you can set up whatever you want, and it's gonna be extremely, extremely powerful. All right. Somebody asked me to do some dub chord. Time to do that. Let's try, because we didn't touch the polyphony of it. So let's save this project. Let's call it streaming. So it's gonna be one of my 2000 projects that I have. Stream, fine. And let's change. Also, let's save the kit, because maybe we like it. So you do function save kit number 1, you name it, and you name it stream 2. All right, kit saved. Now let's pick another pattern, and let's play with polyphony. How you set up polyphony? You go function kit. No, sorry. You just press kit. You go in the polyconfig and you decide the voice. So we want 3 voice. That's fine. So now, if I play 3 voice, that sounds nice. But we want a new kit. So let's load an empty kit. So of course I have to redo that. The polyconfig. Let me switch my beautiful face with this other so I can see better. So we tack. Yeah, triad plus bass is a very good idea. Here it is. So what you do here? Trick that I have something going on. Let's remove everything, all the effects. So usually you go with very simple with the dub stuff, right? You use a simple wave. So, and then what can you do? There's different tricks. Usually you can use the filter. So one trick is put the depth to the maximum and then close the filter. And then play with the envelope. So from here, which is already you start adding effects, chorus, delay, and we are already there. And lower. No, here it is. Let's, you can make your effects a little nicer. So let's see. Let's set down like some trigger. Okay, let's keep it like that and let's work on the sound design. So you go in the FX page, chorus. I didn't really play with that. You can actually feed the effects to the other effects, but let's make it and some reverb. One thing that I learn, or what I like to do when you do dub thing, is having 2 lines of delay. So for example, if now I had the Benny dub, here it is. Now we are in the game. From here, you can go in the filter page and play with the filter envelope depth. Boom. I mean, super dub. And then with the cool sequencer that Elektron has, I usually put down a very busy thing, and then let's see. And then I start playing the conditional thing. So let's play with the LFO first. So we want the frequency just to change a little, yeah? And I would go with sine and a very slow. We forgot something. Since we are using the envelope, maybe we play with the envelope. Filter envelope. Here it is. And this other one, we use something else. Let's see if we put random. Hold. Random. Let's change the release. It doesn't work because the release in the envelope now is made by the filter envelope. So let's. Oh, this is nice. While we are doing this, guys, it's great that there's 40 people watching. I'm really happy about that. Didn't expect. I ask you to help and hit the like button, share the content. It's a hardcore endeavor what I'm doing, and I need all the support possible. So if you can do that, I would greatly appreciate. That said, we did that. Let's use the other LFO. No, we don't really need it. So this is not the classic dub thing, but I like it. In this we are using three notes, but one oscillator only. I wonder if we can create a kick. Let me see if I remember how to do it. It was all up thing. I wouldn't go there, right? Because how you choose, there is a way. No. Sound browser. Let's find a kick. There has to be a kick. Da 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 da. Kick. Kick in the gut. That has to be powerful. Now we don't want this chord to go all the time, so we can just select them and in the note say play every 2 or 4. Nice. Of course, having an external pedal like the Benny Dub really helps. Now there's a touch of reverb from the board. And so on. And now we can also play again with the effects external in. I love the OP1 hold sequencer and dimension. I think it sounds beautiful. Boom. I mean, that's great. You can also sequence the effects. Let's see what happened. I didn't do it yet. Let's change the delay time. I don't know. Never a good idea, huh? Maybe we can send. That's it. All right, I guess it's an hour, and I think it could be good for today to call it a day. I would like if anybody has a question. Now I'll try to read them. So please, let's do another 20 minutes or so, and if and if you want, I can reply. Otherwise, let's start another sequence just to have fun. And let's play. Let's see where we can go, like random. I want a new kit. The overdrive really sounds nice. I'm just going random, eh? Inversion. I just stay on the. I was on the C chord, C scale, so just like, you know, different triads, but same thing. Let's add accent here. Not slide. I love that. This I wanted long. No, I want it high. I want this to every few, every two. You're welcome, Gustav. Sadly, I don't speak German yet. So now I'm gonna do something that I would actually do with the Vermona. I wonder if I can copy the machine. Let's see. Usually you do function, this, and copy track one sound. Amazing. So maybe I can put it on track 2. Function, paste. So now maybe it's the same. Nice. My idea is also I want to create a kit that is like a Vermona performer, like. I didn't set up the. We go measure. Don't cry, guys, but we try measure now. Yeah, original synth, that's another good idea, and then you can basically do chord. Didn't think about that. Maybe let's try. I want to copy the machine again. And let's add here it is. Nice. See, thanks to original synth, now we know. I just did that chord very fast because I said the first oscillator, the sub, and I put the fifth, and then I detune the second oscillator. There's a lot of other things that can happen with feedbacking the things. I'm not there yet, so. Tom, now I will tell you that. Nice, no? And then I think you can also do conditional trig and change, so you can create different chords. Nice. So yesterday I put the analog 4 and the Vermona next to each other because of course I had to try. And what set the Vermona and will always set the Vermona aside, beside the quality of sound and build, it's the fact that it's an immediate machine, which it's limited, of course, but the limitation are what make it great. And you have the control and it's easy, and the way the envelope of the filter react to the filter, it's something that it's magic. You can play feedbacking with FM and how their voice react to each other, and that's another amazing thing, which I think this can do too. So after a tweaking, I managed to get almost the same sound. Now, I love the Vermona and I don't want to get rid of it, of course, but I feel that this is way more convenient for what I need to do, especially when I play live. I miss the fact to have a simple layout in front of me, but these allow you to do very interesting things, mostly because also stuff like, for example, now I can save this kit, right? So I do save kit, save here. Actually, this sounds very nice. I call it bananas. Always call your kit in a stupid name. One thing that I love is that, like, say, now I just change kit and see how it sounds. I mean, like in this case, might lead you to something weird, but it's very cool because sometimes I do that with the rhythm. I create kits and then I switch kits between pattern, and sometimes I found stuff that I sample. So with this is gonna be crazy doing that. Vermona has no presets, which I love. So what I feel is that I will have to really change this machine as a different workflow. Oh, thanks Big Mama's House Record for the tip. It's the first person that ever tipped me in streaming. Thank you. And That said, the approach you have with a machine like the Vermona and a machine like this is completely different. The Vermona is a full improvisational, meditational machine. You sit down and you craft something. And it feels really as an instrument per se, like when you play a guitar. This one, it's way more deep, allows you to get more complicated, more interesting for sure stuff. At the same time, it's easy to use, but it's not the same workflow. And I think it could be interesting to actually use this and the Vermona together, this sequencing the Vermona, and then have some kind of sound here, some kind of sound there, process everything together so I have an 8 voice. So that's something that can actually happen in the future. And that said, they are different machine. We will see in the future what's going to happen. What can I tell you? It's like I'm collaborating with Electron, and the idea is to create a sample, not a sample pack, sound pack. So it's going to be fun. So I'm going to stick with this for sure. Then, let's see other question. Can it MIDI learn for more immediacy? I don't think it can MIDI learn. But you have MIDI control on the manual. So, for example, I know that on track 1 is on MIDI channel 1, track 2 MIDI channel 2, you can change that. And then they have their MIDI CC control. For example, the volume of the track is MIDI control 19, so I put MIDI CC 19 to here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 MIDI channel, and boom, I mapped the control. And with the Chic, it's super easy because you have a web browser and you just set the MIDI channel, the CC value, done. Super, super easy. So yesterday I mapped it in like literally 2 minutes. Can you tell how much does the all studio equipment cost? A pink lowrider. Yeah, what can I say? That's a kind of question that I never too much like to reply, but I will. It's a lifetime of collecting, and lately it became my job. So there's most of the things lately I just get for free, which is not for free because I work. Like if I get something, I have to do video, I have to learn it. So it's a lot of time. But I would say not excluding the mixer, which is something that came out as a lucky strike. I would say there's at least $40,000-$50,000 of stuff. The mixer itself cost a lot, but I had it at a great offer, and I would never have buy it because I could not afford it, honestly. And the line of work that I'm doing now, before I was a photographer, I managed to save some money to invest in what I want to do right now. But my advice is like there's a lot of people that ask about, oh, that cost a lot, blah blah blah, and criticize me or other YouTuber because we have expensive toys. But the thing is, like, we got to this point because we work for that, and now it's easier for us to get expensive thing. I never been the one say you need to spend a lot of money to do music, but I also think that the good quality stuff that cost a little more, it's what I relate better. So yeah, for sure you can do everything in the computer for zero money, but it doesn't work for me. I always been attracted, fascinated by expensive thing, and I somehow work my entire life to get to a point where I can source that kind of stuff for a smaller amount of money or for free. So it's just like I can do that because I can afford all of this because it's my job. When I was a photographer, I had a tenth of what I have now, but I always collected music instrument since I was a kid. I always love having guitars and effects, so I have since I'm 15. Whatever money I do, it goes into this. My wife maybe is not that happy about that, but whatever. Let's see. Controller is the Chic N32P. Question: can the A4 MK2 individuals? Wait, can the for individual outs have FX? No, the individual out, the effects are send and return, so you will have the same problem. The main out, you can decide to route the tracks through to the effects, but those two effects, three effects, chorus, delay, and reverb are in the main. So that's a limit of the machine, but it's fine. What you can do is like send the track out, mix them. What I will do in the next videos, I will have a modular system made for effects, and then you come back into the externally and use the other effects. It's fine. You have to deal with that, but I think it's gonna, I have some idea that's gonna be super cool. What control is that? Theo, I wanna do the same. Well, original synth. I think that the idea of using cheap stuff, it's not a big deal, and the fact is like finding what resonates with you. So, for example, if you give me one sequencer and but for example, the sequencer I'm confident using, it's the Octatrack. I mean, you can buy for $600, right? So the Mark One. So give me that. Give me one Roland Boutique, $300, $299. I don't know how much they cost. I can do music. I'm fine. But the sequencer that I love using are Octatrack or Elektron sequencers. Maybe you can use the model cycle, model sample. I can do that. The Oxy, which is a $700. I love that, but not cheap. The Torso, another $600, not cheap. Yes, I can use the computer, but it's really, it's not a matter of price. It's just like I am not good with plugin and mouse. I don't know. I tried, and now I'm actually working on an album and an EP, and the music that I will release is gonna be way more complicated, way more produced than I usually do, and I'm super excited about that. But it's a learning curve. I'm still learning, and thanks to the people next door, like here in these studios, there's this producer that are like top game, and they're teaching me a lot. You know, you never stop learning. I keep reading. The cheapest stuff. The interaction. Deep light recording. I actually recommend it. I don't know. So Octatrack or Analog 4? Big question. I always keep this machine. I never use it. I don't know why. I had it and I didn't like it. Honestly, honest as like an Electron never replied to my mail until now. So for years, I've been an Electron fanboy, and I own everything about that they produce. I always push that, and I'm probably make Perfect Circuit and Tom and sell quite a few rhythm and let's put some pad and stuff, but they never supported me until now. They you know, it's a company that it's pretty selective with the people who work. So when they reach out to me, I was super excited because I love Electron. It's to me, it's the reason I do music is thanks to Electron stuff. So I have to be grateful that they build this machine. Now, Octatrack is a sampler and a sequencer. If you have other synth, like the Vermona, for example, I had, you're fine getting the Octatrack. You will have the sample, but it doesn't have sound. It's a very complex machine, not in the functionality, but in understand what it can do. I sold it and buy it for 4 times, so it's as a learning curve. You need to dig, spend a lot of time with it. If you don't do that, if you want something that is immediate, don't buy the Octatrack and buy this. This one, in the other hand, now can let me do what I used to do with Octatrack and Performer with just one box and way more. So it all depends where you are and what you want to do. If you don't use sample, go with this one. If you want to use sample a lot, use the Octatrack. Octatrack also has a brilliant way of resampling itself, which is something I never seen any other machine, so it's brilliant. It's a genius machine. And sooner or later, I will advise, give it a try. Cedric, yes, that's a good thing. Like hacking the MIDI is a thing that I want to work in the future. So Gunther, sorry. TV or movie? I scored a few commercial. I scored a couple of short movie. My dream, if at 44 we can still have dream, is now to work in that. I want to work more in the movie industry. It's really hard. I don't have a lot of... I have big friends in the business. Like I kind of, one of my friends right now is one of the biggest TV show director. I won't say name, but he's a nice person. He's obsessed with Synth too. And but talking to him, it's not that easy. It's not even you have a friend and it's like, okay, I'm gonna work. It's a matter of preparing a right portfolio. It's a matter, of course, knowing and networking, and I'm working for that. So the thing is, like, it takes a lot of time, and right now I'm focusing a lot into the content part and the music part, and at a certain moment I will have to decide to go more straight towards a direction. I know that I could be a good composer for movie because I love movie and I have the cinematic view in my head. So I hope that will be my next step. Luis, thank you. Hey, Doles House Music. Sorry, I already finished playing. We are doing Q&A right now. Check back, but this was just, it's my second day with it, and more video will come. So if you are a pro user, maybe next video will be more interesting for you. Martin, yeah, a few days ago I was thinking about dreams, and like I'm in a weird spot right now. I always dreamt to have a studio. Now I have it. But once you get the dream done, you're left with this sense of hollowness. So be careful what you dream about, because it might get true and then you need to find the next one. Have you used the CV outs on the for much? Font sequence are limited for external MIDI, but handy. Not used. So original synth, yeah, I think the fact that the MIDI out, it's tied to the track and you don't have more tracks, it's kind of limited. I agree. The CV is a 4 CV out, and I'm planning to use it with a modular system that I will build on purpose. Mostly a effects thing. It's gonna be mind-blowing if it works like I think. I tried yesterday. I tried using the zero control that is there from Make Noise. I just published a video on Instagram, go check it out, and it's great because I could sequence the filter with an external CV controller. So I think it blows my mind the fact that this has MIDI CV implementation. It's gonna be great. It's the first time you shaved your head, and was the fallout for so no, it's not my first time. I was really mindful about that because in some parts of the world there's a lot of political things involved with shaving your head, which I don't care too much. And also I didn't know how I was going to look. My hair as a 44-year man are kind of getting a little more rarefied, and I'm lucky that I still have them all. And I wanted to try, and my wife left for a month, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And she hated that. She still hates that. But come on, it's just like their hair. They grow back. Big machine from Cedric, that's a great setup, and you know, I relate with that. I use the CV outs a lot between my F4 and my Oora, also sometimes to modulate an algorithm to LFO. Yes, exactly, PIV A00, that's what I do. Will this stream stay on the channel? Yes, it will. Now, my plan for the future, since honestly, guys, I need to be a little smarter on the monetization thing, and the things are really, really complex on getting a decent salary to survive with what I'm doing. I will do stream, I think once a week. It could be music, it could be stuff like this. Let's change thing. No, this sucks. Let's go sad. It's gonna be they stay on the channel, but I think I will do the live show for everybody, the live streaming for everybody, and then the rest is gonna be just on Patreon, with also the basic thing, because I need to, you know, make the Patreon that support me really and makes me go on, have a little more value. But this one is gonna stay on the channel. What is like to use the machine, few sounds per machine, and every Cedric, yeah, that's what I do. Sometimes you just use a couple of things per machine. I don't like that. I like to focus mostly on one machine for the entire thing. But sometimes it happens. Right now, for example, I use the Percons with just some time for very little thing, because it does some magic for small thing, and that's it. And so I'm happy with that. Any upcoming travels? Yes, I'm going to Sweden in a couple of weeks, and then Amsterdam. With Sweden, I will play there in Stockholm, and then there are some other things that are still on the plan. Sorry, I just noticed that Piva was replying to another question. Yeah, I think how much we are going on. There's still 50 people watching. Let's do another. Let's load the kit. Let's keep working on this. Let's add some. Let's add some stuff. So nice. Keep asking me questions. I will stay another 10-15 minutes and then we call it a day. Do you think you might do some live Octatrack workflow videos? Yes, if you guys want, for sure. I did many, but I'm always happy. Actually, the next step will be to use the Octatrack with this for the sample part and maybe some resampling. Dub Station Zero, yes, for sure. So the thing is, like, I have different tiers on Patreon. The basic one, I cannot manage to listen to everything that have been sent because start being 150 people and like, you know, it's a lot. The higher tier, yes, I always reply to them. I always reply to everybody, but the higher tier, I always check what they sent me. And now we started a new program in which we will do a demo, an EP. So the idea will be to give feedback on the production. Yes, Cedric, that's how I use a lot the Octatrack, and that's a great thing that the Octatrack has. Thank you, Shay. I really appreciate and happy that my work has value. Synth, it's a great machine. At this point, having the rhythm and having this one could be for me a little redundant. I keep using it some time, also because it's very small. It has the effects tracks that are great. So it has something that this machine doesn't have. I rarely use it though for a synth sound. I prefer more basic subtractive synthesis, so this is gonna be better, and the Vermona is my go-to. I never use a Sophocop. I never use the overhub, so I don't really know. So far I'm fine with just regular cable. Nice, some happy vibe. So for example, where we are now, it's really not far away from what I'm doing with Octatrack and Performer. Sounds very similar. I need muscle memory and I need a controller well set up to know where my filter is, because my music is performing. So I do pattern like this and then I have to just perform, and I need my knobs, and I can set up things. I will. It will take time. See, I love this kind of stuff. I love to have the keyboard here, really help. This is beautiful, like, and as I show you, this was fully improvised and taking a few minutes. So the cool part, you can create your kits, and now I know, like, I have 4-track and I could call this like Performer, and so I can load that and I can improvise, and then maybe use something this to create pads. Here it is. Isn't it nice? Yes, it is. Yeah, I wanted to hear badly. I'm using actually just the overbridge, but the metronome seems very cool. Let's see, Adria, how do you manage to translate this performative style of playing into an actual track? Great question. That's the problem of my music making, because I give a lot of value to performance, and I love when artists take risk. I don't like setup where there's nothing that can go wrong. So what I do lately, and what I learned from other producer, I always record performances. Now I manage to record them multi-track, and then I go and edit the recording. That doesn't mean that I keep the recording as is. I can grab bites of stuff and putting it together, changing things. So it's worked pretty nice so far, and I have 7 tracks, but I will publish 4, and they're really great. I'm the best things I've ever did so far. So super excited. I need to find the right label, finish the mixing, but the new workflow is good. Gunter, yes. So chord changes is not my power. I don't know a lot about theory. I know a little, and I like loops. So could be seen as laziness, yes, but it's also, I always been into loops. Since I was playing a guitar too, I always stay in drone stuff, and it's another form of drone. Pedals, like you have one chord and you do the maximum that you can do using just that. So I'm fine with that. It's a lifetime of research, like how can with one chord make something that sounds as a composition. But I'm learning more, and I like changing chord here, I don't know, live, and also I perform live, so it's hard. Since I have to take care of a lot of stuff, it's really hard to change chord and do chord progression unless you prepare something before. Or you have something like the Oxy sequencer, which you have your chord bank, and it's easy. With just one button, you change. Piva, yes, I use overbridge, you're correct. I think, yeah, there's really not a lot to see, but I need to get a better streaming situation with better quality. I don't know. This is my first streaming, so I want to have better camera situation. We'll see. Mutant Manfred, I love your name. I will check your cat channel. Something that got out of control. I put an automation on on something. Anyway, also I like using. I always miss having pads, and Synth OP1 field give you this amazing synth called Dimension, and I have the hold sequencer. It's great. You just do these and you like, and you can perform. And you keep it up and down and effects. Great. Just great. All right. See if some few other questions and then we're done. Thank you, Bray. Yeah, it's like I will have to rewatch and hear everything, but yeah, I'm liking it. It's working nice so far. Oh, original synth. No offense taken, of course. Actually, any comment on how to make it better? It's I don't know. Streaming could be a fun thing. So I like to be in touch with people, and I like that there's 50 people watching, and it's great. And I want to make this better and better. I'm curious if I should move to Twitch or keep doing it on YouTube. Maybe if somebody can help, I need to step up my game in this kind of stuff. Shay, what do you think of FM synth? I hate FM synth. So, who people that know how to use FM synth and know how to use the digitone, they do amazing stuff. Me, no. I always end up with the same sound. I don't understand it, and so it's not for me. But yeah, I wish I can use it. It's a great tool. Do I have anything FM? I mean, I have the Peak that goes FM. I have the Super 6 that can go FM. What else? I have the Iridium that I'm actually thinking of selling. But it's not my thing. You know, I'm a simple subtractive guy that I like these. I like the Vermona. Yeah, Piva, I don't know if you came later, but I talk a little about that. So about the idea I have about that. So check that out. Of course, it will come more in the future because people know me about the Vermona. So, and Vermona is not going anywhere. It will die with me. Very much. Thank Lincoln. Thank you very much. Arc, they will come. Pedal that I've been digging lately. I had for a long time the CXM 1978 and then LVX, and I didn't use it too much, and now I'm using it all the time. So those two pedals are great. Other than that, I don't have a lot of new pedals. I'm curious what's gonna come out next week at Super Booth, so I will see. Gonna be for sure interesting stuff. Mutant Manfred, I agree, and I was the first one that I had it for a few days, and I said, this machine is stupid, I don't understand, and I was completely wrong, because I bought it with the idea that it was a polysynth, which it is, but it's not that only. So if you want a polysynth to do chords, don't buy this, maybe, but if you want a complete machine, we can be extremely deep and extremely powerful. Yes, this is. I was guilty of that. I rarely use Twitch. Please stay on YouTube. That's a good idea. I don't want to restream and share audiences, and it's really already complicated to have good audiences right now. So I'm happy to keep it on YouTube. And maybe the idea would be to do one weekday, decide maybe the Saturday, I don't know. I'm surprised there's 50 people watching right now, so it's like probably Saturday is a good day, and find when it's good for everybody and keep, you know, people know that I'm live. Yeah, J-Braid, that's the other things. Maybe that's the other thing, like subs and monetize a little better. If I go more like in production and do that, I know that Twitch is better for that kind of stuff. And yeah, I guess something to maybe try, and maybe restream both. I'll learn about that. Okay, Mood. They will send me one. I can't wait. Mood is one of my favorite pedals, so it's gonna be amazing to have it. Thank you, Shay. Yeah, I actually, Dubstation, I did this very impromptu. I didn't plan it, but today I come and I said, you know, I have this my second day, so it would be nice to talk about how I feel about it. So it's most of a test, which went very well, so I'll add more stuff. All right, about the Strega. It's a very particular synth. I like it now with the, I have it there with the Continuum fingerboard. I was thinking to do a setup with the Strega Zero Control and Haken Continuum. It's a beautiful synth. It's I wouldn't call it a one-trick pony, but it's more hard to make full performance unless you go very experimental, which I'm sadly not, and I like more melodic things. So it's good to have, and I record a lot of stuff with this, like with it. So it's fine. It's fine. It's a beautiful synth, and made by my favorite, one of my favorite artists. So what can I say? Most people complain a lot about the intrinsic quality of the oscillator sound. Jacopo, it's a weird question in the way that yesterday I tried side by side and they sound different. Like if you take the saw, they sound different. I am certainly for me to say which one is better. I know that Mark II, they added a better sounding oscillator, and to me it sounds nice. I mean, like I like what I'm hearing. This kind of sound is not very far away from the sound that I get from the Vermona or the Avalon or other synth that I have. They're very simple. Like it's consider them more as a easel where you start, you paint your stuff, and then you add effects, you add sound design. It's take something like the Iridium synth. You can do everything with that, which though I don't never use it because it's too much. And this I like because it's simple, you understand very well, and then it opens up, you know, a scene, and then you work with that. So I heard about the critic about the intrinsic quality of the sound. Like everybody complain about the sound of the Octatrack and say the effects of the Octatrack is shitty or the converter is shitty. Well, there's people made albums and albums with that. Back in the day, maybe people were criticizing also Machine Drum and Mono Machine, and now they are like sought after, like, oh, they sound so good. So it's just what you make with it, and with the in the right hands, all of this machine will sound amazing. That's it. So maybe stop thinking about that and just like see if it works for you, and if it sounds good for you, it's the first step. Because you need to relate with the machine and feel, okay, this is my sound and sound good for me. If you align in that way, so the sound you want come out of whatever machine, then your production will be true to yourself, and then people will realize and people will like the sound. When you use, if you copy other style, or you try to use machine to do other people music, you will always face short and like, oh, this is not good or whatever. I don't know if it makes sense, but to me the key is like find something that really resonates with you, and then there's a sort of frequency that align, and your production will be better, whatever machine you use. That's just to sound good for you. Don't listen to anybody else. Yeah, original synth. Like, we are lucky enough that at this point we can do everything with nothing. There's people here in Riverside that produce only in the box, and you would, I cry when I see what they do with just plugins, and I spend so much money and they spend nothing, and they do so much more money than I do with their production. So it doesn't really matter. Just be happy with what you have. What do you think about Game Changer? Motor Synth. I tried it. It's bloody expensive. I would love to test one. They were supposed to send me one for tested, but they never reach out. It's not something that I would buy right now because it's a big investment, and but it's a cool idea. So I wish more people go that weird way. There's a unique feature, deep light recording. So yes, like this one has the performance thing as well, and it's similar to the rhythm. If I have to pinpoint what this machine has different than other, so let's say first it has a very straightforward interface with a small keyboard that works pretty well, and the way you do things is super easy. I think the integration between CV and the Elektron sequencer is something that none other Elektron does, so it's amazing. It sounds good. It's all analog. The two filter one after another is cool. So I think it's a mixture of things that put together a machine that is really, really well thought, which I didn't know until yesterday. Plus, yes, let's not forget I didn't mention it has 4 out, but also it's overbridge, so it works as a sound card. So you can just plug it in your computer, record everything separate. So, I mean, guys, it's amazing. All right, therefore it's not for everyone. Yeah, I guess so. Mutant Manfred, remind me, because I will forgot to check your channel, and I'm curious to see what people do with that. So maybe write me on Instagram, if you are on Instagram. Any new effects pedal on your radar? As I mentioned, yes, I would love to try the Vongon delay. I would like the mood. I will have it no matter what. What else? I don't think I'm lasting on anything else right now. I lost a little sight on pedals. I should, maybe, because I love them. I'm kind of into now creating a modular system just for effects to use with this, so I can control the effects with the CV, which I think is going to be fun. Yeah, attending Tropic. Hi, by the way. If we speak strictly about sound, I think the Vermona has something unrivaled, which I am, you know, it's my instrument, it's my piano, it's my guitar. I love it, and I will never let it go. We need to remember also it's double the size of this, and it only do sound. So it's a machine made for sound, simple machine made for sound, unbeatable for that. The Electron, this one, it's you can do albums with that, so it's different, and I don't think they're that far apart. There's the same kind of thoughts, 4 tracks, 4 voices. These give you also 2 oscillators per voices, noise, more filter things. So I think this is way more versatile. But each machine has its own place, and like for what I used to do so far, like the Vermona is like beautiful. Vermona and Octatrack, it's the best combo I've ever found in my life. Original synth, I never record my MIDI. I tried. There's a Roadhad did a very cool masterclass on Home of Sound, I think, House of Sound, I don't remember, in which he tells how he record, and he record all his MIDI information. I never do that. I tried, it was too complex, but it would be great, because sometimes I do cool stuff and then I lose it. Especially in the Octatrack, I lose everything. I never save anything, which though is my way of doing, and I like it. Wow. Hey, Noisehead. Why not go? Some minor stuff. I'm showing you how you can change and perform and improvise. Rodad is the best, also super nice guy. So now I switch from major to minor, and now I can Nice. So now if I had the rhythm, it would be nice because I could add some interesting glitch rhythm next time. Yo, Simon! Yeah, Simon, I outside this room I'm poor, like I need to hide from my wife actually, all the stuff I had. Maybe you should steal an OP1 at the... Are you coming, Simon, at... what's the name? Super Boost. Steal one and mod it. That would be awesome. Did I miss or you didn't release a video about Godfather? No, I did not finish the Godfather video yet because the firmware was still need some refinement. It's an amazing tool which will work very good with this, of course, because it's a 4-voice machine and I can feed to the Godfather. So the 4-voice goes out in the Godfather come back in. That's a video that will come soon. Simon, next time. We need to organize our chat. We didn't try anything like chord-wise. Actually, let me... I was saying to go, but I'm still staying here. We're going strong, so whatever. It's like it's addicting. Load project. I did something as a ambient thing just to try, and it was pretty nice. He said Oxy is always a good choice. Fine Gear Stereo, I will try. Okay. Well, and I feel now I am a streamer. I understand why it's like talk to people. It takes a lot. This is a track that I recorded as I start recording. need something to modulate the other line, but I recorded it and it comes very nice. Epic thing. Okay. It's very nice. That's true of Simon. Yeah, I need to link the filter, everything. My friends, I think this has been 2 hours and 20. Nice. Thanks for watching. I think I'm hungry. It's Saturday. In Berlin it's rain like every day of the year. I'm gonna go. I have to decide if going to the gym, go eat a sandwich or take a bath. Maybe a sandwich and a bath together. That sounds nice. Also, my cat needs me because it's alone home. It has been a pleasure. I hope to do this more. It's fun, and thanks for watching. Thanks for the support, for whatever you can do and share and be friends and whatever. Yeah. That's it. But let's go. Let's go with a 7th chord, major 7th chord that symbolize that life is good. Hopefully. Yeah. And with this, I'll say you goodbye. Hope this was interesting. Have fun, considerately. Go have that sandwich, that beer, that kiss your partner, if you have one. I miss mine. Maybe she's watching now. Ciao, Candice. If not, see you soon. And thanks for watching again. I'll see you next week. I mean, maybe not, because the next week is super boot. It's gonna be crazy. But again, this was fun. Ciao. See you soon.